What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Bianconeri zone for another video and another probably worrying report. And it's a Frattesi because he is a target for the club because Comolli absolutely loves Frattesi and Comolli wants Frattesi, and Comolli is in contact with Frattesi's agent according to multiple sources out there. Maybe not the best, but most of the time it starts with not the best, and then the best come out and confirm little snippets, and that will probably happen, maybe not to in great detail. But Frattesi is somebody we should be keeping an eye on, also because of the Nico Gonzalez thing. Then there's also Savona might be on a potential move to Newcastle despite his contract renewal. We have some info on Hjulmand because he wants to join Juve, but Sporting are, well, not easy to deal with. And then obviously there are links with how are we going to replace Timothy Weah, who's close to Marseille, and Alberto Costa, who might or not might leave, because that report is actually all over the place. But before we get into it, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get straight to, the Frattesi thing. A player, as you know, if you are on the channel many times, I do not like. A bit like Raspadori, where it's like, no, maybe with Raspadori even more, where it's like, I don't know what player you really are. With Frattesi is he gets goals, but he can have games where literally he touches the ball four times. Like, you can look it up, or a half. He can ghost. At Inter, I looked at him as an impact sub when things were getting tougher. He drops in Frattesi and somehow he gets a goal. So he's good at that, getting goals. But you're not paying 40 million because that's what Inter want to get goals. Like, that's not what you hopefully try to do. And with goals, I mean off the bench, because does anyone want to see Frattesi start for Juve? I don't think so. And it's not me to disrespect Frattesi, because he's no scrub. Like, I'm not gonna say, oh my god, like he can do absolutely nothing, but he's nothing special. Like, he's absolutely nothing special. I don't understand the hype, if I can call it hype, or the obsession when it comes to Juve and wanting to sign Frattesi, no matter who's in charge at the club. And maybe I'm wrong, and I don't know what Frattesi actually offers. But every time I watch Frattesi, I not once said, not even when he was at Sassuolo, man, that's a player I want to see at this club, no matter what. I remember of Sassuolo, he was tipped to join us for about 15 to not even like 18 million. I was like, as an addition, maybe. And then the price went up, and I was like, no, just stay away from it. And the situation is that he wants to stay at Inter, but the contract is an issue. Like, he doesn't want to leave Inter. Like, if he, let me rephrase it, he's not going to say, I'm going to lower my demands and I'm going to drop wages just to stay at Inter. That's not the situation, but he's not pushing for a move. It's just the contract, the entire situation at the club, where Inter is like, you know what, maybe we should be moving you on. And that's where Nico Gonzalez come into play, because if they don't sign Lookman, because Atalanta want more money, I do believe they're going to sign Lookman, and they move on to potentially Nico Gonzalez, then, well, this can enter dangerous territory where it's like, okay, we cannot get a contract done. We need a player. We will take Nico Gonzalez, but maybe you take Frattesi and we will figure something out on the price tag. That's kind of the story. There's also reports that he wants to join Roma if he leaves Inter, but Roma are not interested in Frattesi. Does he start for us? No. So that's a big investment to make for a player who doesn't start, in my opinion. And also, I'm not sure even competes, to play a player like Locatelli or Thuram out of that team, depending on what the formation is going to be. So Comolli has some weird obsessions. I hope Tudor doesn't have that obsession and tells Comolli, that's a guy I don't need. Do not waste any funds on him at all. So that's a Frattesi one. Let's move on to the Nico Savona news, because Newcastle are interested. They're maybe selling Livramento to Man City for quite a lot of money. I'm still a bit if they're going to do that. I'm not convinced they're going to do that. But if they do, they have Savona on their shortlist. They also have Scalvini on their shortlist, and somebody else I forgot to mention, but somebody else as well. Now, he renewed his contract until 2030, just a couple of months ago, basically. But according to Di Marzio and Nico Schira, no, especially Di Marzio, saying that doesn't hold the club back to say, you know what, you cannot leave. According to Nico Schira, the club is not actively trying to move Nico Gonzalez, and they set a price tag of at least 25 million euros on him. We all know what that means. At least that's 25. It can drop to 18 at this club. When it comes to defenders, there are a lot of more defenders I want to sell who are at the club than Nico Savona. But the situation of the club is if a player has some sort of value, clean value as well when it comes to him, they will consider it. But then comes the question, okay, you're moving out everyone. Then Alberto Costa, who now might stay because, well, there's no real agreement with Sporting and he's not, he doesn't really want to leave. If he needs to leave, then fine. But Tudor wants to keep. It's all over the place. When it was, oh my God, he's going to Sporting. Now it's like, you know what? Timothy Weah is close to joining Marseille, and maybe he's not really a defender, and not maybe he isn't. You're also going to move out Savona. Like, what is actually the plan out here? Like, what are you trying to do? Because we're not going to sign two new players in that position because that's going to cost you quite some money. And you still need a center back. When it comes to Savona, if you play a back three, I think he will adapt to it more. I prefer to keep Savona. I know a lot of you are not a fan of Savona. I'm not saying he is unbelievable right now, but I have no issues with Savona, to be honest, to say and improve. I've seen things that I absolutely like, and I think he can improve on. It's just the thing is now you need to replace him also. Like, how many options are out there that you think are better than Savona and Weah? To be like, there are options out there, but how many options do you think that are better you can get for a fair price? That's my concern. I'm like, I'm not sure we should be doing that. I think we should be focusing on maybe moving out the center back, Kelly or whoever, Rugani, whatever, and improve that rather than trying to fix things that maybe shouldn't be fixed this summer. I think Savona saying it's not the big issue. I think players like Kelly playing a lot is the biggest issue, in my opinion, in the center back area. That's where we need help. So let's see how that will go. But if they put 25, 30 million on the table, the club will probably accept it. Like, let's be completely honest. Um, let's move on to another topic, and that's coming into play with this, and it's Molina, because according to Mirko Di Natale, they've opened up to the idea of loaning him out, and it could be an opportunity. However, someone needs to leave first. That's a weird report because players are going to leave. I think that's pretty obvious right now. I forgot he was still playing football. I'm not gonna lie. I liked him at Udinese. When he went to Atletico, I was like, we missed out. I don't think that was the best move he could have made at the time. And it wasn't the best move because he hasn't improved one bit. Actually, he got worse, in my opinion. Is that a player I want? No, to be honest. But yeah, if Atletico loan him out, the club will look at it, obviously, for obvious reasons. Is he going to improve us? Maybe. Is he going to improve us enough to where I'm personally satisfied? No, because again, he had a very high ceiling, in my opinion, and he hasn't really improved. A bit like Udogi, extremely high ceiling, went to Tottenham. I don't think Udogi, like, same thing, hasn't improved as much as is needed. Where I'm looking at a player like Udogi, for example, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's probably not where you tip to be. It's just okay, but nothing really special. And that's the same with Molina. I don't see really how big of a jump in quality we're going to take if we sign Molina. But again, if Atletico loan him out and it's a loan, it's a clean loan, then yeah, the club will do that. Let's be completely honest with that one. But that story with the right backs, the left backs, whatever, it's all over the place, and we just need to wait and see at this moment in time. Final topic is Hjulmand, because he wants to join us. He made that clear. He has a release clause of 80, but Sporting are willing to accept 60 million euros, which we're not willing to pay, and that's kind of where the story ends. Yes, he wants to join us, but we're not going to pay 60 million, nor should we, for Hjulmand. Sporting have every right to demand that, obviously, but we're not in a position to spend that money. If we're going to spend 60 million, you invest that in a center back area, and maybe a fund to sign Colomani, because right now he's going back to PSG, and there's an old drama when it comes to Colomani. He's going back to PSG. Yeah, he's owned by PSG, and we have no agreement. Preseason kicks off. He's going back to PSG. Like, people are losing their heads over it. That's how it works, unless PSG is like, you're going to train separately. But then still, he's training separately at PSG. So we need to calm down on that one. It's all reports from France. PSG want 50 million, no loan with obligation. They want money right away. Nobody's going to pay that right away. I don't even think a Premier League club are going to give PSG 50 million euros this summer. So I think you need to calm down with that story. Not saying that Money will join, but what choice do we have? Because you're not going to keep Vlahovic. You cannot keep Vlahovic. Impossible to keep Vlahovic. Renew him for 1 year, whatever. It's suicide. What are you going to do if you don't sign Colomani, for example? So when it comes to Hjulmand, yeah, 60 million, but we have bigger issues and we should be spending that money much, much wiser. Anyways, in the comments, let me know what you think about Frattesi and why the club is after Frattesi. And what do you think about Savona? Should we accept any offer coming into Savona, or are you like it should be at least that or no deal? Let me know in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel as always. As well, I'm holiday leaving for 2 weeks, so I'll try to do live shows. It's gonna be looking a bit different. It's gonna be looking like this, because I'm away for 2 weeks. Obviously, every day a video or two. I will keep up with that, and if there's breaking, I will try to figure a way to, do the video or whatever and chat. But I will do some lives, probably different hours. Probably will try to do some live shows during the day. Jump on, talk a little bit, and then head out again. But that's just to keep you up to date. But like I said, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we will speak each other tomorrow.